All right, and we are live. Welcome in, everybody. We got to let it breathe just for a moment here while we bring on Facebook. Lots to talk about tonight. Last night, Zach and I, we kind of knew it was going to go one way or the other. It was either going to be the Bills or the Chargers, and now we know. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Mile High Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me, my fellow football priest. You know him, you love him, Zack Kelberman. Zach, as I said, we kind of had a feeling it might be the Bills, but now that we know for a fact, how are you feeling about how this game is setting up to be a kind of revenge matchup?
Yeah, there's that for sure. I also mentioned on the pod last night Josh Allen's playoff record on the road. I think yesterday was his first playoff win on the road in his career when they defeated Jacksonville. Gritty win by them, but they came out of the game pretty beat up. Josh Allen included. Chad, they're not going to have Gabe Davis. They're not going to have Jordan Poyer. I understand the Broncos have injuries too, but if there's any year to get the Bills in the postseason to vanquish them, I think this is the year for the Broncos.
And the Bills, they're thinking just the opposite. They're going, hey, we've got these upstart second-year guys, May and Nix, in the playoffs. For once, we don't have to worry about Lamar or Mahomes. This has to be our year. But do they have the sand? Do they have the horses to go up against this Broncos team? We're going to be talking about it and breaking it down and forecasting it all week long. We're getting into it tonight. And also, guys, here in a little bit, we're going to unveil the 2025 MHH Superstar Mt Rushmore. We're stoked for that, so stay tuned. Checking in first here, we've got Fox Family Breaks, a dear member with a generous super chat. I'm really excited to see how everybody's feeling about this. Fox Family says, the Broncos tend to do better when they can play the spoiler. All the talk this week will be about Josh Allen, that he can provide extra fuel on top of the revenge game. Cook does scare me, but we didn't have Hufanga last year. So first things first, what he's speaking to is the Broncos have been set up as kind of minor home dogs. 1.5 point favorites are the Bills on the road. So the Broncos get a chance, Zach, to cultivate their overdog mindset, which, as he says, I think serves the Broncos being home underdogs. Underdogs at any point, but especially at home. But this is a really interesting topic because today I went back and I did some research and I read some of the post-game pressers from when the Broncos got bullied and rebuked by the Bills in the wild card. I went and reread Sean Payton's post-game and then some of the stuff he said in his end-of-season presser. And he was really focused at a few points. I have a story up right now. You guys can go read about some of this stuff when you want to. But he was really focused on what he realized in that game, especially second half against the Bills, what the Broncos were missing. And it all really tied to Denver's inability to stop their run game. So what did the Broncos do in the offseason? They go out, they sign, as Fox Family breaks down here, not only Talanoa Hufanga to give the Broncos a run-stopping safety, a guy who can fly down into the box and basically play like a linebacker, but also, Zach, Dre Greenlaw, who is a great run-fitting linebacker. And both those guys, thank the football gods, healthy and expected to be available for this matchup.
Yeah, you're right, Fox. They definitely play better when they're underdogs. They're 1-0 when they're the Bover dogs, and however you want to classify them. They're always been better when they're counted out, us against the world mentality. James Cook is still a great running back. He led the NFL in rushing, but you didn't have the same players that the Broncos had last season playing at the same level. They were playing at a higher level this year. Malcolm Roach is playing at a higher level. Even Awuzurike on the defensive line is playing at a higher level. The only players are the usual suspects that I still worry about because toward the end of the regular season, Alex Singleton was missing tackles. Some players in the secondary were missing tackles. I wish, Chad, the Broncos had Brandon Jones for this one just to stuff the run, if anything else.
Yeah, indeed. Papa Bear, great to see you, big dog. Thank you so much for being the superstar and dear member that you are. He says, good evening, Broncos country. Let's help Buffalo out. Make sure they are out of the playoffs. Wouldn't want them to break a trend. Yeah, so no doubt about it. Let's give them a hand, a little help on their way back to the offseason. Let them get that rest and recuperation, Zach, that they absolutely need, no doubt. Lady D checking in from the top rope. Great to see another one of our great superstars. She says, evening, and dear friends, she says, evening, Chad, Zach, and Scott. We need to run the ball and sack Allen at least 6 times. If we do that, I believe we will win. She says, Bo is going to need to be on point. That's for sure. Harvey needs 2 touchdowns. I'm excited. A very winnable game. Broncos all the way. MHH for life. Yes, they got to get after him, Zach. And the one thing I want to see, of course, we've talked a little bit about this, but Nik Bonitto kind of flagged a little bit, meaning like he kind of declined in his sack productivity in the final quarter of the season. He made up for it a little bit in the finale against Lance, but a lot of incidents, Zach, where he would get to the quarterback and they'd step out of the tackle and make, either throw it away or make the throw. Allen, it's even harder to get this dude to the ground. But I think back, guys, to the 2015 season and how the Broncos going into Super Bowl 50 were perceived as the underdogs. And Cam Newton, big, strong, just like Allen, running through guys, romped through the NFC playoffs. And the Broncos just said, nah, ain't going to happen here, and out-physicaled them. Now, 2 different quarterbacks, some similarities, but it's that kind of a mindset and game plan the Broncos got to adopt against this Josh Allen Bills team.
Yeah, Deanna, thank you so much. As usual, your insights are on point. I agree with everything you said there. I was interested to look back at the box score from the playoff game. They only sacked Allen twice. It seemed like they got after him a ton, but they only got him down to the ground twice. He's like Big Ben back in the day, very hard to actually get to the ground. And the Jaguars learned that the hard way yesterday. I think the game was yesterday. It's all blending together. But Harvey, this is where you miss J.K. Dobbins. I mentioned Brandon Jones on defense. You wish you had J.K. Dobbins for this one. I don't know that R.J. Harvey can carry the RB1 load against this Buffalo defense. It's going to be up to Sean Payton, Chad, and Deanna to scheme the running lanes open and scheme plays with the explosive players like Jaleel McLaughlin, who we both want to see get the ball more on Saturday.
No doubt about it. Well said, Lady D. Thank you. And stay tuned because we're going to be unveiling the Mount Rushmore of 2025 here shortly. Sam Bam checking in again. Always great to see Sam. And we're always especially stoked when it's 2 days in a row. Sam says, hi, guys. I'm excited and nervous for the game on Saturday. The last time the Broncos played a Saturday playoff game was against the Ravens in that devastating loss back in the 2012-13 season. But I think the Broncos will be ready. Go Broncos. I do too, man, because Zach, in a way, and this kind of has dawned on me more as my research today, working and cranking out stories and stuff for the website, has kind of led me to realize the Broncos have been preparing for this game for longer than a week, longer than the week off that they've had, so to speak. Like much of what they did in the offseason and thus how they kind of reoriented themselves is literally in preparation and in direct result of how the Bills handled them. Now, granted, that was upstate New York in their house, but I'm telling you, that one hurt. Sean Payton after the game called it brutal. They're going to be ready for the Bills.
Yeah, that was definitely devastating, Sam, and appreciate the super. Thank you for bringing that up. And for anyone asking about the game time, that will be announced later tonight after the Steelers and Texans playoff game. It's either going to be 2:30 Mountain or 6 o'clock Mountain on Saturday. Thank you again, Sam.
Ooh, nice big play. The Texans just had a nice little strike there. Shannon Mills, the ladies of MHH, showing out tonight. Shannon, great to see you.
Thank you, Shannon.
She says, good evening. Was sick all weekend. We've got a bug going through our house right now, too, so I feel for you. But wow, she says, the chaos football gods kept me entertained. Looking forward to seeing a great Broncos-Bills game. Like it that the Broncos are the underdogs. I hope they are Superman's kryptonite. Yeah, I love it. The Broncos, Sean Payton just does a good job at using the little angles and storylines, things like the odds, all that stuff, man. He does a good job of using it to help cultivate a mindset. And the Broncos need to have that kind of a mindset out to prove it. It served them so far this season, Zach. Every time they've, been up against this, they've kind of flown under the radar all year long. Like even now, we were talking about it over the weekend. Even now, the Broncos as the 14-win team, number 1 seed, a lot of questions in the national press. Are they legit number 1 seed? Are they frauds, etc.? All that kind of talk pisses off the fans, no doubt, justifiably so, but it serves the Broncos well.
As long as I can remember covering the Broncos, Shannon, they've thrived in that us against the world underdog mentality kind of role. And it's been no different with Sean Payton. Chad's absolutely right. And they have to look no further than Vegas that installed them for now as home underdogs, despite having the number 1 seed. Look no further than the prediction markets that are projecting a Buffalo upset win in Denver on Saturday. But they need that. And I feel much more comfortable and confident with them being counted out than them being counted in, so to speak.
No doubt. Thank you again, Shannon. Much love and respect. We've got Brad Murdoch checking in also on Super Chat, another dear member. Saying, good evening, everyone. On the MHH, the Bills are beat up, coming in on a short week, and yet we're still the underdogs. Time to go out and prove the doubters wrong. Yeah, I mean, I think what it is bettors out there, and thus then the odds makers. There's a lot more proven pardon me, on the bone, so to speak, to sink your teeth into relative to the Bills' playoff history. Even though, like Zach alluded to earlier, there's a big difference between the Bills at home in the playoffs and the Bills on the road, whereas the Broncos are still kind of the new kids back on the playoff block, so to speak. And how the Broncos are going to be viewed moving forward will be greatly informed by this game. And if they win, I think you'll see, regardless of the complexion of the win, I think you'll see a lot of people in the national press go, okay, it's not easy taking down a desperate Josh Allen who is just trying to do anything he can to get this can't win the big one thing monkey off his back. Sean McDermott, is he coaching for his job? All these things, Bills are highly motivated. The Broncos take care of them, Zach, and they might start singing a different tune, but I doubt it altogether. I'm saying might because then I picture myself going, okay, who do they advance to play in the AFC Championship game, and what would those storylines look like? Probably Drake May and the Patriots. Oh, man, they'd be glazing Drake May all week long. It would be so sweet. And once again, setting up for benefits to the Broncos and all the same things we're talking about now. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say the operative word there is might, Chad, because I woke up today and the first thing I saw on Twitter was excuses already forming for the Bills. Oh, they have to go to Denver. They have to play at Denver on a short week on Saturday. Well, that's the benefit of having the number 1 seed. So if you don't like it, win more games before January starts. I don't know what to tell them, but that's how it's going to be with the Broncos. We've been talking about that. They can raise the Lombardi Trophy in February. They can win the Super Bowl, and there'll still be the Nick Wrights and the PFFs out there that tear them down and criticize them. But Brad, we do not care as long as they keep winning football games. Let them hate.
Let them hate indeed. Let them hate, baby. All right, guys, we got a lot more that we are going to be getting to here tonight. But first, if I can find the button here that I need, guys, listen up. Again, we're going to be getting to the Mount Rushmore stuff here in just a moment. Trust on that. But guys, the playoffs officially, they're here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all that action. It's time to get off the bench and into the game. Head over to Underdog, download the app. By the way, it's not just football. That's what we're all here for. But whether you're into basketball, hockey, football, any sport in between, Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action all season long.
Exactly. Playing an underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks correct, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash.
Exactly, baby. Listen up, guys. Winning money while watching football, it's a home run. It's a slam dunk. It's a touchdown. You can do that with Underdog. So download the Underdog app today. Sign up with our promo code MHuddle, and you will score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code MHuddle. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next?
18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
All right, guys, we go back to the chat. We've got another dear member and a great friend, Ted Wunderlich, checking in. says, we saw Jacksonville and New England, offenses that were on fire, come back down to earth in the playoffs. I feel this bodes well for Denver, not scared of Buffalo. Hashtag MHH for life. Well said, Ted. Taylor says, outside of Allen and Cook, who do the Bills have? No one. Also, JH.
Harbaugh.
Thank you. Fits well with the Chargers. You know why? Because they both they both choke. LOL. Underdogs. Well, just prove it. Underdogs is the theme of tonight's show in more ways than one. Well said. I mean, I don't think anybody should sleep on the Bills. They showed you yesterday against that really good Jacksonville defense that we saw in Week 16. They got some heart. They're playing hard. Josh Allen left it all out on the field and came out on top. But as Zach said, he got beaten up, man. He was very physical. A lot of it he was choosing, but still, Zach, I can't imagine on a short week he's going to be feeling totally 100%, like maybe in the 90 percentile best case.
And still, 90% Josh Allen is still better than about 80% of quarterbacks at full strength around the NFL. So, yeah, they don't have a ton of star talent, and they are kind of beat up right now. But as long as Allen's out there, as long as Cook's out there, they're going to be giving the Broncos a hell of a game. And it's going to come down to the wire, as any Broncos game tends to do this season.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay. Oh, we got Cody Dubb checking in. What's up, bro? Great to see you. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to be unveiling the Mount Rushmore 2025 here shortly. Cody says, the only thing that scares me is Brandon Jones being gone. I mean, the Bills are dealing with, Zach, their fair share of injuries. Relative to who's on the roster, the Broncos are healthy. But there's the three guys that aren't, that you worry about not having, and that is one of them here, Brandon Jones, also Luke Wattenberg, the center, and then, of course, J.K. Dobbins. But if the Broncos can get past the Bills, I think there's a decent chance, Zach, a decent chance we could see J.K. return for the AFC title game.
Yeah, there's also Wattenberg, his return inevitable at some point in the playoffs. Forsythe had a minor injury. P.J. Locke was hurt coming out of that last game, Chad. So there's a lot of different moving parts on the injury report, and we'll see how that shakes up as the week goes along.
We have got here Nux becoming a member tonight. Dude, thank you. This is what we do for the new members. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you. Don't be a stranger. Make yourself heard and known in the chat. George Fox looks, guys, let's make it loud so they can't hear themselves. That's a great thing our fans can do to help the team. No doubt about it. And the Broncos, Mile High faithful, Zach, this year in particular, have really helped do their part. I mean, the team has to kind of do it first, right, but the fans have done their part to restore Mile High and the home field advantage that it has typically and traditionally always been. That feels good.
That's what I was going to say. I can worry about a lot of different parts of the Broncos on game day, the offense, the defense, the coaching, etc. The one thing I don't worry about at Mile High is the fan interaction, the fan participation, the crowd noise. They're incredible. Best fans in the country.
Thunder Snow 11. That's a cool handle. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Says, not a lot of good film on the Broncos the past few games. Peyton by design. I think we'll see a real game plan against the Bills this weekend. Well, again, either Sean Payton is telling the truth, or he's lying, or he's playing some kind of 4D chess or whatever. But he said on Friday, Zach, that, hey, man, you guys have known me long enough. I wish I could say that I was holding things back against the Chiefs and Chargers, but we just failed to execute. That's what he said. Now, I think for the most part, Zach, I think that's probably true. As we've talked about on the show a lot over the last week, since that Chargers game, though, it's one thing to call a conservative game plan, kind of knowing that you don't necessarily need to show a whole heck of a lot. That's fine. But you got to make sure these players are actually executing said game plan. And that's where the Broncos ran into some obstacles those last 2 weeks. The offense is a big reason why people have their doubts about the Broncos around the NFL as a bona fide one seed.
He's not going to come out and say, yeah, I was actually hiding plays all along and we're going to debut them on
True.
Saturday. That would defeat the whole purpose of being a gamesman in that sense, Chad. But we'll know, because we've been debating this question since the preseason, whether Sean Payton's saving plays or hiding his best plays or whatever for later in the year. We'll find out Saturday, and I'm happy at least to put a bow on that topic.
We got Rello Coleman becoming a member. Yo. Thank you. Let's go, Rello. Thanks, buddy. Saying also on Super Chat, we beat up Josh like we did Brady in 2016 playoffs. Yeah, the most he's ever been hit, Tom Brady, in that AFC Championship game right before Super Bowl 50. And one of my favorite little anecdotes from that game, I guess it's not even an anecdote, it was captured on the America's Team, which at the time I bought a version of this on Blu-ray, have it in the old collection, which who watches Blu-rays nowadays? I don't know, but that was 10 years ago. So that's how quickly the technology changes. But there's that scene where Broncos are just beating Tom Brady to crap. You got a bunch of different players mic'd up, including Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator. And it was right after DeMarcus Ware had just laid a huge hit on Tom Brady, fourth quarter. And as he comes off the field, Wade Phillips is like, he don't like it. He don't like it, which was absolutely true, man. Tom Brady was not loving life that day.
Yeah, Rello, I feel like, and I don't want it to happen because I want to beat Buffalo at full strength, but I feel like a couple good hits from Cooper or Bonitto, and Allen's going to be in pretty bad shape physically. But then if he comes out of the game, if the Broncos win, that's another excuse that we'll have to deal with. But yeah, he's not coming into this 100%, and I think the Broncos should be targeting, quote unquote.
Duchess jumping in again. The awesome ladies of MHH showing out. So great to see you tonight, my friend. She says, I'm praying for a Broncos win. I wish I could go. Too expensive, though. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, you want to get even, first of all, season tickets, you're going to be mortgaging your house. But let alone, yeah, the playoff game ticket prices, they're up there. So honestly, as great as it is to be there, like, hey, man, when we were all there together for that Giants comeback, those memories are priceless. They're going to be with you forever. And so that does have value. That is important. But Zach, when it comes to just enjoying the game, seeing everything, etc., you'll catch more watching it from home anyway, Michaela. I mean, you'll miss the experience part, which is what I was getting at before, but that cat's still getting skinned one way or another. And I think you'll at least be able to catch more of the game and the angles and all that stuff watching it on TV.
Yeah, I echo that 100%. But thank you so much, Michaela. As always, good to see you, and appreciate your generous contribution as always.
I mean, think about it. It's been 10 years since Broncos fans had to worry about scaring up enough money to get in the door to a home playoff game. It's a long time, man. Plus, you got it over that time, inflation going cray, right? So I feel you, and we'll see how it shakes out for the Broncos. Lots more to get to, but Zach, this is as good a time as any to unveil the MHH Mount Rushmore. Now, what is it? If you guys are new to MHH, if any of you listening or watching this or have joined us since, let's say the beginning of the 2025 year, what we like to do is at the end of each year, we take the top 20 Super Chat superstars who have been, another way of putting it, the biggest supporters and donators to MHH. And our Mount Rushmore, because it is the Rockies after all, can fit 20 carvings up in that granite. So we put together a little graphic we're going to unveil here shortly. And then those folks, obviously near and dear, special treatment in our hearts, but also just they get the notoriety of being a big reason why these podcasts, these live streams, and everything else we do, from the meet and greets and everything else, man, keep rolling on. We've been doing it now since, what was it, Zach? 2019 was the first year we started doing the pod as a live stream. So we've been going a long time, and we wouldn't be able to continue doing it at the level that we do and put the amount of time and love and passion and everything else into it without your support. And these folks right here, let's unveil it, the 2025 Mount Rushmore top 20 in order, boom, are a big reason why we're still here today, rocking it and doing what we do. So I'm going to read it off. Here we go. 2025 Mile High Huddle Mount Rushmore. Number 1, Lady D, Deanna Hendry. Number 2, Michaela Parker, both in the house tonight. Number 3, Chris Hernandez, who's gone off the chain every gut reaction since the season started. Our dear friend, D-Dub Dale, 96734 at number 4. Sam Bam, who's in the house tonight, at number 5. Omar from Nigeria in the house also. Really good dude in more ways than one. Gifted your boy, both of your football priests here, a little special Breckenridge honey-flavored Bronco whiskey. At number 7, it's Naj Altaf. I don't know if Naj is in the house tonight. I haven't seen him yet, but needs no introduction from yours truly. Number 8, he's in the house. Papa Bear, David McElrath. So consistent. Dropping super chats oftentimes before we even go live. Don't know what we do without you, Papa Bear. Number 9, Coach Chris in the house, bro. Number 10, Shannon, she's in the house. So that wraps up your top 10, 11 through 20. At 11, it's Troy Boer, who mostly is throwing down, supporting, loves the morning shows, loves Broncos for breakfast. We appreciate you, Troy. Cody Dubb in the house tonight at number 12. The Ronk at number 13. Love seeing that. And what's cool about that, Zach, in particular, real quick, is the Ronk has, for the most part, until about this summer, traditionally been the Facebook guy, right? And yet he's been so on it since the summer. He's in not only the top 20, he's in the top 15. At 14, we got a chance to meet him at the meet and greet this year. I like to call him B-Rad. He's a great dude. Much love and respect. Also a member. David Youngkin, speaking of members, right there at 15. Mike Givens at 16. George Vandermark, who goes way back, OG, all the way back to year one of us doing these live streams, at 17. Camden at 18. Chris Bell at 19. And a newer entry on the Mount Rushmore right there, Missed 4J in the house. So that's the top 20. That's the Mount Rushmore of 2025. And Zach, I got a few more things to say, but first of all, your thoughts for the folks.
I think you said it perfectly. I want to echo everything you expressed before we put the graphic up there. If it wasn't for you guys and every single one of you not listed here as well, this is just a very small sampling. We had to choose 20, but we could choose 120 if we really wanted to make a list. Each and every single one of you, thank you all so much. Bottom of my heart, Chad's heart, Scott's heart, everyone. We wouldn't be doing this without you, and you make it possible each and every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Where we go from here real quick, and then we'll jump back into the conversation. Each one of you, pretty please, shoot us an email, milehighhuddle@gmail.com, with your shipping address and your t-shirt size, because we've got something special cooked up for the Mount Rushmore Superstars this year. And even if you've done that before in the past, please just do it again so I have it all in one place, and it's in my inbox, and it will be easy to find. So just shoot us an email, milehighhuddle@gmail.com, with your shipping address and your t-shirt size. And we got some cool stuff headed your way. But once again, to each and every one of you, we love you. We appreciate you. And as Zach said there, if you didn't make the top 20, it's not because we don't love you. This is really 100% just based on the numbers and the level and magnitude of support and generosity that you guys show us is truly humbling. And we love and we appreciate it. Sam Bam says here on Super Chat, number 5. Also, I'll be busy the rest of the week. Won't see you all till the gut reaction Saturday. Or if you have a podcast Sunday night, go Broncos. Well, we'll definitely be live streaming immediately following the playoff game. So we'll see you then, big dog. Thanks for checking in a couple times tonight. But once again, love and respect to each and every one of you. And a special tip of the cap to the 2025 MHH Superstar Mount Rushmores. All right. Awesome. Love it. So don't forget, guys, get that email sent. Cody Dubb checking in again on the list, as you guys saw, a Mount Rushmore Superstar, saying there's 4 players on this team. By the way, Cody also, new dad, really cool. There's 4 players on this team, he says, that have been to a Super Bowl. Hufanga, Greenlaw, DJ Jones, and Mike McGlinchey. I hear they're hungry to actually win one. Yeah, they did go to a Super Bowl, Zach, but they couldn't quite vanquish Mahomes and company.
Yeah, but at least they have that experience, and that's invaluable. They've talked about that previously this season, and that's why the coalescence of the younger players and the veterans has been so instrumental in the team's success, because one can lean on the other. And that's why Hufanga and Greenlaw, to an extent, have become fan favorites, because they've climbed to the highest level. They just couldn't conquer that last little bit of it.
Yeah, well, Denver's got a Super Bowl legacy, just like the Niners do. And it's cool to see both teams in it this year. I mean, like I was saying last night, I always have a little bit of a soft spot for Kyle Shanahan. Although, did he have to go to the San Francisco 49ers, who became a mortal enemy after that Super Bowl 89 season? Rello jumping in again. Thank you, pal. A new member. Or he says we put Josh Allen out of the game just like we did CJ Stroud. Hashtag QB out. I mean, yeah, Allen's a tough one to knock out, though. I mean, I'm not advocating for the Broncos to try to do that, but I'm just saying, like, all the King's horses, Zach, all the King's men, it's not easy to get him on the ground, let alone knock him out of the game. As big and strong and just physical of a quarterback that maybe has ever played in the league.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it given Sean Payton's history in New Orleans that's why I was kind of cringing when I said targeting. I don't want them to look to injure Josh Allen, but him coming in with a bulky this and a bulky that, very beat up, they're going to look to put a little extra stink on each one of their hits. And if they hit him hard enough, and if it stinks enough, so to speak, he could, again, come up pretty wobbly. So we'll see how the game shakes out. But Rello, thank you for the super.
Yeah, dude, it's great. Keep sounding off. We love it. George Fox, you always go and tailgate if you live close. Go Broncos, Broncos for life, MHH for life. Hit the thumbs up. Oh, yeah. I mean, even if you can't go to the game, tailgate is a way of life. And if you live close enough to the stadium, absolutely, George. Absolutely, buddy. Appreciate you checking in again. Liquid Alchemy, I'm just going to read this real quick. This says, Priest, I'm sorry, but the Denver press corps is acting all scared that we're facing Josh Allen. If we can't beat this depleted team with a quarterback who's beat to a pulp at home, then what are we doing? Fair question, Zach.
Well, I mean, to be fair as well, Josh Allen is the most experienced quarterback in the remaining playoff field, at least in the AFC. He's arguably the best quarterback in the playoff field. And the Bills and Allen are a lot like the Broncos, where unless you kill them and you cut off the head, so to speak, they're going to come back. If they're alive, there's always a chance they're going to come back, and they're going to come back in the fourth quarter. And before you know it, they're going to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. So even though he's beat up, and even though the Bills aren't this superpower, it's still Josh Allen. They still have James Cook, and they still have that, as we saw against Jacksonville, the propensity to always find a way to win. So that's why I'm saying I'm not looking to injure Josh Allen, but knowing the injuries he's coming into the game with, the Broncos should be looking to blitz him and hit him early and often.
I would say, hey, go look, and I'm sure this has already been done, and if not, it's being done since last night, like stat at a rapid level. But I would go take a real long look at the game plan that Vic Fangio had dialed up for the Bills. What week was that? I think it was week 16 or 17. And do the best you can to even not necessarily emulate it, because you're your own animal. Vance Joseph, he's his own guy. But, you know, the gleanings, the takeaways from that, how the Eagles were able to really keep a lid on him. I mean, the final score of that game made it look a lot closer than it actually was for most of it. So the Broncos, look, Josh Allen, he's desperate to prove he can get over the hump. How many trips to the dance are you going to get without really advancing? Sean McDermott, if you want to believe this, I'll say purportedly. I don't even want to say reportedly. Purportedly, there's some pressure there to prove that, just kind of like, you know, some of the coaches in the past, you can get over the hump. They got a lot of desperation, Zach, but as Liquid Alchemy points out, again, beat up. The Bills are lacking a lot of key players. Allen himself beat up. Broncos are at home, about as healthy as you can expect or ask to be any team this late into the season. No excuses. Go out there as the overdogs and get this done.
I'm not defending the media members that are chewing their fingernails over Josh Allen in Buffalo. It's not keeping me up at night. I think the Broncos are actually going to spring an upset Saturday, but they also have to go out there and prove it, because when they're favored to win, like we talk about, they tend to disappoint. When we think it's an easy matchup for them, it comes down to the wire and it's super grueling. So there's also a side of the Broncos media and Broncos fandom that recognizes the Jekyll and Hyde nature of the team, and there's some trepidation with that, Chad.
Well said. Well said. Sue Gibson, a dear member, she says that stadium will be rocking on Saturday. That's for sure. And by the way, Liquid Alchemy, I got to grab this one more time. He's been on fire early in the chat. He says, I love that Nick Wright and Patrick Mahomes will both be watching the game on their couch. on Saturday. Yeah, and that's another thing that's just awesome. Lady D, wow, jumping in
Thank
as
you,
well
Dan.
by gifting 10 memberships to folks in the chat. You're awesome, Lady D. Thank you so much. Mount Rushmore checking in. Man, she made me lose my train of thought. What was I talking about? Sean Payton, one of the many achievements so far this season. Well, two main achievements of this season: winning the division and then securing the 1 seed. The Broncos had a lot more control, obviously, Zach, over the first. And again, going back and reading some of the things he said after the Bills beat down last year, he was really focused on improving the seeding, because going on the road in the playoffs versus being at home are two different enchiladas. And so he knew that in order to improve the odds of getting some form anyway of home field advantage, because even the Bills last year, they weren't the 1 seed. I think they were the 2. Were they the 2 seed, Zach? Yeah, because it was the 7 versus the 2. But the point being, the best way to increase the odds of having some home field security in the playoffs starts with winning the division. But you look at the AFC West, Zach, not so easy to do, let alone because you have Patrick Mahomes and the 9 times in a row AFC champs, but also this new upstart Chargers team led by Harbaugh and Herbert that is no joke. And yet the Broncos managed to get that done and do their part by sweeping the Chiefs, doing their part to ensure they're watching the playoffs from home for the first time in many moons.
Yeah, like Peyton said, the number 1 seeds, they are in car wash coupons. They're hard to come by in the NFL, and the Broncos earned theirs. There's a huge difference between playing 2 games in the postseason to get to the Super Bowl and 3 games in the postseason. The Broncos are 2 wins away from doing that, and they get home field advantage. So that's why I was talking about earlier with Buffalo. They're complaining about the travel. They're complaining about the short week. Oh, well, be better.
Keith, a dear member, says, if we go to the Super Bowl, we don't want to count our chickens here, Zach, before they've hatched here too much. But he says, if we go to the Super Bowl, guess the MVP.
Probably Bo Nix would be my guess.
If not Bo Nix, it would be someone who does something great on defense.
Right.
Like a Von Miller of this team, Nik Bonitto, Zach Allen, maybe a Pat Surtain, big takeaway, multiple sacks, that type of thing. But obviously, Bo Nix would be the most likely. But again, we don't want to count our chickens before they've hatched. So we shall see how it shakes out here. We got Lady D feeling it. She says, I'm declaring a win. Jumping in again, by the way. Already thrown down a very generous super. Just gifted 10 memberships in the chat. Just Mount Rushmore for a reason. She says, I'm declaring a win. We got this. I don't doubt our Broncos. We got this. Go Broncos. Zach, you're feeling pretty good about it this early in the week, huh?
Yeah, I'm right there with Deanna. I think this is the Broncos' year, Chad, to an extent, at least to get to the AFC title game. They seem like a team of destiny. And for one, I recognize the Bills are a good team, but they're not infallible, and the Broncos can beat them. And if anything, it's going to be much closer, Deanna, than it was the last playoff game. And I just think they're going to keep it close, Denver, and they're going to pull out yet another gut-wrenching last-second victory. But thank you so much for the super, Deanna.
No doubt about it. I'm feeling good about it as well. Like, as I told you guys last week, the Bills were the main team I didn't want to see was the Chargers. Although, Zach, after seeing them lay the egg that they did last night, I'm going, why? Well, it's because it's a different animal when they're playing the Broncos for whatever reason. The Bills were the second team I wanted, the second least team I wanted to see. I don't know how I can say that better, but I'm feeling really good about it. I think the Broncos, the soul of this team, the metal, the constitution of this team is where it needs to be. The time off, I don't really subscribe to the rust aspect of it. I think the rest will help them. And Sean Payton's going to have this team ready to go. The key to me, aside from all the cliches like stop the run, pressure the quarterback, all that stuff, the key to me, Zach, is going to be Bo Nix. Bo Nix needs to be that week 11 through 15 guy. If he is, you can't beat the Broncos.
Exactly. Yeah. If they play to their potential, they play like they did against the Packers or in certain stretches, like you mentioned, the fourth quarter against the Eagles. In fact, they can beat anyone and they will beat Buffalo handily. But which Broncos are we going to get? That's always the question going into every game, whether preseason, regular season, or postseason. We're going to get the good version of the Broncos or the bad version of the Broncos. If it's the former, they'll have no problem on Saturday, Deanna. I'm with you on that, the optimism.
No doubt about it. Love you, Lady D. Thank you so much. Also, shout out to the Brace Girdles in the hizzy. We got Ralph and Gene, father and son. Gene saying, I love watching on Facebook. You guys do great at making the Facebook community scene. What I'm trying to say to you guys, Gene and your old man, Ralph, YouTube. Come watch the show on YouTube, just because Facebook for us, it used to be the opposite. Zach will stand up here and tell you the exact same thing. Facebook used to be the best possible platform and social media for us to reach our people, to reach our followers and our fans. Unfortunately, that has changed over the last 2 years, but especially the last year in real time. And so when Facebook, on a page that has over 125,000 followers, only allows a live stream to go out and be seen and notified to like maybe 200 of those followers, what's the point? I mean, literally the only reason we even still stream to Facebook is because we know we have some dear folks that are important to us that still prefer to watch on Facebook. Or else, I will tell you right now, we would stop streaming to Facebook completely. That's why Facebook has just basically let us know in more ways than one, you're not important to us. Publishers, streamers, we don't want you. You know, if you want to make 1 million reels a day, that's what we want from you. If you want to, reach people on Facebook. And yeah, Zach, there's a place for that, putting out reels and stuff. You know, we do that and shorts and all that. But Facebook, guys, meanwhile, YouTube, exact opposite. Looking for and finding ways to help us reach more of not only our own followers, but putting us out in front of potential other followers in their algorithm. So come join us on YouTube, guys. That's where we need you, Brace Girdles.
Yep, absolutely.
But we do love you and we appreciate you guys. Seriously, you know that. We appreciate you guys being there on Facebook. And it's not just you. Like, I mean, even guys like, as I mentioned earlier, the Ronk, he made the transition for the most part and to YouTube. Phil says, I have a legal problem with YouTube, so I try to avoid them. Well, I'm not sure what that is, but I can understand if that's the case. But Phil says, good evening, Chad and Zach and Deacon Scott. Underdogs, will we ever get respect? Like I said, guys, I said this, Zach, at the end of the Packers game after the Broncos won and Bo dropped the we're the overdogs thing. That national praise and media, if it's not going to come now, meaning back then after that week 15 win, then guys, it won't come if and until and unless they actually win the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl, that's when you'll see the hats come off and go, all right, yeah, and most of those people who have been throwing shade at the Broncos all year long and harboring their well-considered ponderous doubts, they'll act as if those doubts never existed.
The Broncos mascot shouldn't be Thunder. It should be Rodney Dangerfield, because they're never getting any respect, Chad, and they're never going to get any respect no matter what they do. But who really cares, Phil? Like I said earlier, like I keep saying, if they're raising the Lombardi Trophy in February, Bo Nix and Sean Payton, who really gives a what Nick Wright has to say?
Exactly. We got the Triple C in the house. Colby C. Collier checking in. Collier. Got to go against my family again this year and root for my Broncos. Another close win with the home field advantage. That's the other thing, man, is look, Josh Allen, Zach, is a guy you really don't want to give him the ball down a single score with 2 minutes left. But you could say the same, even more so this year, about Bo Nix. He's the last guy you want given the ball. So if the Broncos can, and I'm telling you, there is a path to what I'm about to say, you don't want this to be a game that comes down to the final possession, another close one. Like if you can get into the fourth quarter with a 9-point, 10-point lead even, that sets you up. But at the same time, Zach, that's not really been the Broncos thing, right? Like their model this year has been keep it close, keep it close, keep it close. Fourth quarter, boom, we bridge the gap. We close in. We do what we got to do.
I just know win or loss, this game is going to leave us with heart palpitations, leave us puckering quite a bit, Chad, leaving us emotionally drained. But the home field advantage could be a factor for sure, because there's a huge difference between playing in Buffalo, obviously, and playing in Denver. And the crowd noise and the fans are a big part of that.
Rello jumping in again, brother. Thank you. Says, my priests, if we beat the Bills, we make the Super Bowl. I mean, look, I got to give – I'm with you, actually, Rello. Like, that just feels right. Sure, it tastes good. Feels right. But, man, the Patriots earned a little bit more of my respect last night, a little bit more of my respect. They're going to be a thing. But they'll have to come to Denver. Drake May on the road, this defense. Ooh. Gene, bold prediction. Broncos have 8 sacks and 2 picks. The 2015 team got all their turnovers in the playoffs. It's going to happen. Well, you know what gives me some confidence, Gene, that you could be pretty close is just how emphatic Sean Payton has been since the little week of preparation between that mini bye between the Christmas night game and the Chargers game, challenging his defense to start taking the ball away. And look, it was against Trey Lance and all that, but they did, right? You even got a pick 6 from Jaquan McMillan. So, Zach, maybe there's some truth here. Maybe his prediction isn't as bold as it would appear on paper, so to speak. 8 sacks, 2 picks.
Honestly, I think the 2 picks are more unrealistic than the 8 sacks just because they weren't getting picks at all, and they led the league in sacks. But, yeah, they're going to have to get Josh Allen to the ground. I don't care if it's 3 sacks, 5 sacks, 10 sacks. When you get your hands around him, don't let him get away. Bring him down. Impact the play because he'll kill you with his legs. He'll kill you with his arm. And if they can turn him over and set the Broncos offense up in good field position, short fields, obviously that helps Bo Nix and company that way as well. It's a big test for the Denver defense, Chad, after they haven't looked nearly as elite since the bye week.
No doubt. Well said, though, Gene. I appreciate you, brother. Shannon jumping in again. She says, does this Mount Rushmore superstar? Bills are a good team, but I think the combination of Nix, the defense, and Sean Payton will make the difference. I don't know if the Bills are ready for a fully prepared Broncos team. This year that has passed, they didn't just get beat on the road in the wild card. Zach, Sean Payton used words like brutal. I mean, I can pull up some of the other things, but they were emotionally scarred, not in a way that's like trauma. And now they're like, overly sensitive or anything. But I mean, he used words like, let me find this. He used words like misery, sorrow, drudgery, brutal. And you saw how, again, as I said earlier in the show, it informed their whole offseason. So in many ways, the Broncos have been preparing for this game for more than just a week, right? It's been for a year. And I think you'll see that reflected in their energy, their level of intensity on Saturday.
Yeah, the home field advantage, Shannon, and thank you again for your super. The revenge factor, the motivating factor of being counted out by Vegas and these odds makers, it's all going to coalesce. Also, it's going to work in the Broncos' advantage if Josh Allen is beat up. The Broncos are healthier right now, even without J.K. Dobbins and Brandon Jones and a few others. So I think you're right. Win or loss, and I'm leaning toward win right now. They're going to be prepared. It's going to be a close game and the complete antithesis of what we saw last January.
Yeah, no doubt. Lady D, congrats to everyone, all the Mount Rushmore superstars. And again, guys, I want those of you who are legends on Facebook, every night you're here, please, if you can, come to YouTube where we can actually reach you better. Like even up here, and I don't want to turn this whole podcast into complaining about Facebook, but this is one of the reasons, Phil. Notifications are hit and miss for me. Pretty sure it's Facebook or StreamYard. It's not a StreamYard problem. When the page posts, if you have it set to notify, then you have it set to notify. It's Facebook. They don't care about making sure followers of a given page are aware of what that given page is doing anymore. They do not care. And hopefully that changes because Facebook used to be And thank you, dude, for the kind words. I'm here for the info. Cannot find a better pod for that. Thank you, brother. Facebook used to be our refuge. We loved it. We loved it. It did a lot for us over the years, but man, as well as it did for us, although all that time, it's equally now been that harmful to us, like literally harmful. So yeah, if you can't tell, I kind of got a burr under my saddle about Facebook.
Yeah, and if I think everyone knew the extent of it, they would agree it's well deserved.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Ralph says this team feeds on no respect. Hashtag the overdogs. You're 100% right. And Sean Payton is a great coach when it comes to maximizing the psychology aspect of coaching and finding those little ways to motivate, whether it's at the individual player level, Zach, or the team level. And especially this angle of you guys are the freaking 1 seed. You know, I could see him right now in the team meeting. Here we are, the 1 seed, 14 wins, division crown. They're setting us up at home as the underdogs. What do you guys think about that? And, you know, using that to really raise the dander in the room. And I trust Sean Payton to be able to do that very well.
I hope the line doesn't flip. I heard it could flip back to the Broncos by the end of the week. I hope it doesn't. I hope they're the underdogs in Vegas going into the game. I hope these prediction markets count the Broncos out and assume Buffalo is going to win. Because, again, when they have that us against the world mentality, that's when they thrive.
I want to echo the Ronk here who says, as a Mount Rushmore superstar, join the Mile High Huddle Discord. The link is in the description of this video. And before we get out of here, guys, I will also drop the link in the chat so you can just click it. It's another great way to not only stay in touch with your football priests, but also everyone else in the community and keep the conversation that we all love and look forward to in these live chats going beyond the live chats. So, Lawrence, good to see you, pal. Hi and bye, everyone. He says, we'll watch later. Thanks for stopping in, big dog. Ralph dropping a nice little statistical figure on us here, Zach. Sean Payton is 4-0 as a 1 seed coming off a bye. I was not aware of that, Zach.
No, he has a pretty good track record of when he gets the number 1 seed, he does he makes the most of it. So appreciate that, Ralph.
Raj jumping in to say, my wife has a Facebook account. My son tried to make one and they denied him, saying he didn't meet the standards of their community. So I tried, and they told me the same thing. Yeah. And the problem with a lot of these social media platforms is you can't get a hold of a human being, or good luck getting a hold of a human being. Now, I have my ways. As a publisher, I know how to get a hold of somebody, but it's not easy, guys. It's not easy. Missed for Jay, bro, you are on the Mount Rushmore. I don't know if you, for those of you who are maybe just joining us, I'm going to flash this again. This is the 2025 MHH Mount Rushmore of superstars. You jumped in at the last spot there, Mr. J. You're number 20. Check it out, dude. So FYI, appreciate your support, my friend. Thank you for being a member for 4 months and for all the support on Super Chat. Shoot us an email, Mr. J, at milehighhuddle@gmail.com. Let us know what your t-shirt size is and your shipping address, okay? Thank you for being a Mount Rushmore supporter, big dog. Yeah, and as Sue says, congrats to everyone in the top 20. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Now, look, we're not leaving quite yet, but we do have a couple messages for you. Then we're going to take one last look at the chat before we dip out of here. But, man, this has been a fun show, and it's going to be a fun week here at MHH.
Another tremendous installment, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH Pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out MHHmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. You can find us on Instagram at mile_high_huddle. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football priest a 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, 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 very important, as always, that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
No doubt about it. String guy says, I didn't even like social media, so go figure, LOL. Pearl says, I used to love Facebook till I was hacked. Now AI feels like I am a hacker. Yeah, again, like, here's a stupid little thing. Meta, all right? One last thing. Scott's got a big beef, too, with Facebook for reasons I won't share. That's his business, but it's all tied to business. Here's a stupid little thing. The other day, I'm going about my business, and I get a notification on MHH Instagram that says, your account, and I have not ran any ads on MHH Instagram. I've ran ads in the past on MHH Facebook, which are both owned by Meta. But I'm going about my business. I get this notification that says, your account has been suspended. Your account's ability to advertise and run ads has been suspended. Click here to learn more. And I'm like, what? So I click through. None of it makes sense. I go through a bunch of different clickerations to try and get to some kind of answer or what they're even talking about. And I finally see that it had something to do with question about my payment method. This is a payment method, guys, that over the years, as far as Meta is concerned, has charged an ungodly amount of money. Okay. And so I try to get a hold of somebody. And again, if I have to, I can pull out the big guns and get a hold of somebody. But they made it impossible to resolve the situation through the app or through just normal means. I actually have to pull out my special card to try and get it solved. Little things like that. I'm sick of it. They don't have like an appreciation for the individual level, whether it's just users, bigger publishers, bigger accounts. Facebook, I'm sorry, man. It's YouTube or bust for us. Mr. J jumping in on Super Chat says, sorry, I haven't been here, fam. I've been in a lot of cervical pain. Dude, don't even trip. All good. Sorry to hear about that, bro. Had an RFA done today on the right cervical nerves between C3 and C7. Also, holy crap, thank you all so much. Sorry I didn't see the Rushmore. Now you've seen it, so it's all good, bro. I sympathize, my friend. I broke my back in 2007. It was higher up, though. It was the T4. And outside of the first couple years of learning to live with the pain, it eventually got better. But now I'm starting to notice little things that it kind of throws other aspects of how you carry your weight out of whack. And long story short, any kind of spinal, back, anything like that, I've been there a little bit, and it sucks. So prayers up for you, big dog, and thank you for your support.
Yeah, Jay, take care of yourself, man. Appreciate you reaching out. Don't even worry about anything else. Just worry about getting better. And don't even thank us for the Mount Rushmore, because you deserve the placement. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Special salute, mile high salute, and shout out to the great Super Chat Superstar supporters, members, helping us keep the lights on. Tonight, in particular, like Fox Family Breaks, the Papa Bear, Mount Rushmore, Sam Bam, Mount Rushmore, Brad Murdoch, thank you, brother, for being a member. Lady D, Mount Rushmore. Shannon Mills, Mount Rushmore. Ted Wunderlich, crucial member of the community and a dear member. Nux becomes a member. Welcome, brother. Thank you. Cody Dub, Mount Rushmore. Lady D throwing down some memberships for folks in the chat, too, by the way. Taylor Christensen. Thunder Snow, that's a newer Super Chat name, so welcome again and thank you. George on Facebook. Rello, who becomes a member and throws down multiple supers all in one night. Thank you, buddy. The Duchess, Michaela Parker, who's praying for that Broncos win right alongside all of us. We love you. Let me see here. The Triple C, dear member, and an OG, another guy who started out on Facebook that eventually migrated to YouTube. Appreciate you, brother. Tucson Phil, the Brace Girdles, Gene, and Ralph. I don't think I missed anybody. Lawrence actually missed for Jay. You guys, love you. Appreciate you so much. And again, we know the enemy. We know the opponent this week. It's the Buffalo Bills. They got to come to Denver, Zach, on a short week after a brutal physical game where they got even more injured. Broncos are rested. They've been preparing for this game for a lot longer than a week. I'm really excited to see how it all shakes out. But we'll be back as a tandem, of course, Thursday night. Don't forget tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, noon Mountain Time. Kelberman's Corner. For the members on YouTube, stay tuned.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Chad and I'll see you Thursday for the head-to-head to get you ready for the Broncos divisional round playoff game against Buffalo on Saturday. Have a great start to your week. We will see you then. Take care, and as always, go Broncos.